coming in much fuller today.
So, yeah, they look fairly active.
Yep, I think it's just been the cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they haven't been coming in this full. I mean, every bee coming in right now has got something on them.
Yeah, they're bringing in a lot of pollen.
It wasn't like that the last 3 days.
Yeah, quite a few coming in. Yeah, it's good to see. Ants in here, not a big deal. These usually keep them pushed out.
Oh yeah, up here on this right side, Bob.
So, yeah. Usually keep them pretty well pushed out, but just makes them active. You know, they have something else they have to do rather than make honey. Chasing bees all day.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you'll open it and there'll just be this big mounds of eggs of the stupid ants. They're just starting. The ants haven't been in too long. I'm not seeing a lot of eggs, but so all the girls are poking their heads out, looking at me, saying hi. Take the top off, inner cover. It is windy here. No hive beetles on the beetle trap, that's a good sign. Looks like they've chewed up and pulled out most of the rubber bands that we used to band together the
There's been 2 of them outside I've had to pull out. They were dragging right out the bottom hole there.
Yep. Yeah, they will. Looks like they did a good job at sealing everything back in there. So that's good. Good amount of room. Spray this with sugar water. Just a light solution of sugar and water, and that helps to encourage them to draw out the wax. You can see they've still got a fair amount of work to do. So, encourage them to kind of keep working. Drawing on this one. This was a blank frame, just the plastic foundation. They're drawing all this out.
Very cool.
So they basically look like that. Paint a little bit of extra wax on it, and then they go to town. So there's probably a little bit. Some of it looks dark, so there might have been a little bit on there to start with, but. Great stand, just a touch high. A lot of good bees. Shiny as nectar in there, so they're definitely bringing in nectar and a little bit of pollen. Mix it together to make bee bread. That's what they feed the developing bees. This bee's roll up there. She goes. She's rolling a ball of the pollen. She kicked it off her legs and was rolling it down to other bees down there. That's always cool to see. But pretty calm girls.
I have 2 or 3 in my hat right now. I can feel them crawling up my hair.
I don't know what was up the one day that I came up here and they were not happy with me, but I'm back to being pretty calm now. Like I say, we'll see how that goes if I keep breaking the nest apart here.
You're just checking to see how full everything is and how things are coming along.
Yeah, looking to see everything, looking to see if we still have, like eggs and larvae.
Okay.
A lot of nectar.
Yeah, look at that.
A lot of pollen. So, I'm going to grab frame holder. I don't see eggs or larvae on that frame. I can leave it sitting out a little bit. I don't really want to do that on a chilly, windy day like today because you can chill the brood. But there we're into some brood. You can see the cappings there.
Yep.
So, and there's more.
There you go. Look at there.
So, yep. This next frame's got a lot more than that, so that's what I want.
Got one crawling up my back. Dirty buggers.
Girls. Might be getting a little more angry.
Yeah, that's the one that got me in the back.
Oh. To get stung, they leave a little pheromone that they can kind of then get a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Do you need any space there?
No.
No.
It's no fun when you get, once and then all of a sudden there's like a dozen, 15, 20, 50.
Yeah, it's just that one got me on the back there because I could feel it in between my shirt and I didn't want to move.
Yeah.
And it was like after she stung me, I'm like, oh, all right. And then all of a sudden they just started swarming me. It's like I'm not even reacting to it. Come on now.
Yeah, like I say, they leave that pheromone and
You're a marked man.
yep, you are.
How long does that pheromone last? Because I'm already getting swarmed over here.
So yeah, it'll stay on you till you wash it off. So, a quick peek, they're not bad, but when you start ripping and tearing to really see what's going on, they tend to get a little bit agitated. Watch out there, pup. They'll come after you too. So since when we cut them out, we ended up putting them in the top box.
Yep.
I'm going to swap boxes and put that box down below now that I know that they've got those frames repaired and put in there good. And
cool. Oh yeah, there's all them rubber bands.
Yep. Bees like to build up towards the top of the tree. So we'll just encourage them and give them plenty of room. Yeah, they're popping me. Do.
So does that catch the beetle's legs then, must be?
So yeah. This is just a kind of like a Swiffer cleaning cloth, little microfiber, and the beetles have hooks on their legs that get caught in it. The bees kind of chew it up and make it rough. I kind of rub it back and forth a little bit too and get it kind of rough. For the most part, the bees don't get caught. You might get one or two, but usually not very many. You know, it's one of those kind of the necessary loss to be able to
Yep.
protect them against the hive beetles.
Yep. What can we do for the ants?
Basically, well, I mean, you could. Some people will sprinkle cinnamon.
Oh,
Other people will, you know, up on the hive cover. Forgot to put these in the bottom box. Get them all irritated again. These are Varroa treatment strips for the Varroa mite. Lift this box back up.
so what does the queen excluder do?
The queen's, when she's actively laying, her abdomen's really big, so she can't fit through it. So it keeps the queen down in the brood boxes and prevents her from laying up in the supers. Some bees don't like to come up through the queen excluder to put honey in the box, so I always try and use it at least for a little bit.
Yep.
And then if, you know, the next time I look at it, since they've got plenty of room down below yet, next time I look at it, if they're not coming up and actively up here, then I'll pull it out.
I see.
So, the worst thing that could happen is, you know, the queen gets up in here and lays in the honey super, and some of the cells that should have honey will have brood in them for a short period of time. But that's not a huge deal.
Yep.
So, once the brood hatches, then basically the bees will clean out the cell and then put honey back in. So I don't think I'm going to put a second box on.
There's quite a bit of room in that one.
Yep, still a lot of room in the other one. So of course now my brush, because A lot of the bees decide to go there for what you have for food for them.
Yep.
You know, right now, autumn olive's kind of winding down. The honeysuckle's kicking in. Locust is a huge flow. It looks, we don't always get a good locust flow in Michigan, but it looks like we're going to have a good locust flow this year, so, which is great.
They've been coming in with a lot of gray on them.
So, the gray pollen.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, different sources have different color pollens, and, you know, hard to say exactly what it is without DNA testing, but
yeah.
There'll be everything from, you know, white and gray all the way up to purple and blue. Kind of the whole rainbow. So, looks like I got most of them out of here. Come on, girls. I'll bring you this one next time. You know, then just about everybody in the hive will go in that direction.
So a scout will go out, find a good pollen source.
Pollen, nectar, depending.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they'll take them back with them.
Yep. And then they dance. They literally just dance on the comb, on the face of the comb. You know, wagging their little tail, and you know, certain frequencies. You know, the faster, you know, slower tells them how far. The angle at which their rear end points is like the direction based on the compass of the sun. So really a cool little setup. So yeah, doing well. So hopefully on their way to making some good honey.
Good deal. When will we be checking on them again?
Probably in a week. Probably next weekend I'll come back and say make sure they're going up, moving some of the nectar into the super.
Yep.
If they don't, then I'll pull the queen excluder out, provided they have, you know, worked on this a little bit.
Yep.
So got a little more time and a little more room than I was fearing. You know, the way things have been going this week, it's been really crazy with a lot of nectar coming in and a lot of swarms out in southern Michigan. So we should be good. Yep. We got eggs, we got brood. So they're building up.
Good deal.
Good.
All right, see everybody next week.
Try again.
Well, not ideal, but at least I caught them. They're swarming. Just gotta get another box and some plates. That is insane. Wow. Yep. Yeah, she swarmed.
My bucket with a pole. Got this just in time. I'm ready to help. There you go. Yeah. You like all the people that come? You want it set right here, or we want to take it right over there? See what comes to date on. I caught a swarm. It's in a cardboard box. I need a whole hive. All right, what you girls doing? Well,
What you think?
well, that's a good size. So yeah, probably a 10 frame.
Okay.
Probably because of the size. A lot of times if it's on a little bitty branch, I'll just, if it's okay, I snip the branch.
Yep.
And then knock it off. But because that's a pretty substantial branch, it's probably going to be a shake.
Okay.
Or
I
yeah.
got pruners.
So
We got new pruners. I can do one solid cut right through that, probably like butter.
yeah, I mean if you don't mind cutting the branch,
It's not gonna hurt that spot. Let me go find. Where were those at from?
So yeah, you got some bees that are coming back from scouting a new location. So well, to back up, you know, even further, this is a swarm off the hive. So about half the old queen and about half the bees come up here, and it's what's called a bivouac. So the queen can only fly so far initially. So she came up here and is going to hang out with about half the original hive. And then some scouts will go out and find potential locations for this hive to go live. And they're coming back and doing the version of the little waggle dance, where they come back and dance, kind of shake their abdomen, telling the other bees that they found potential new homes. And then over the course of, from hours to days, they'll decide as a group where their new home is going to be, and then they would take off and move to that new home. So, but I don't know if you can see, but there's, bees in different locations coming back and shaking their little butt. And that's kind of the waggle dance, but instead of saying where food is, they're saying where a new hive is, or a potential new hive.
The waggle dance.
Yeah. So, there'll be second or third swarms where multiple queens will hatch, and instead of fighting in the hive, they'll actually all swarm out.
Okay.
But
so this is a good sign our hive's doing good, right? If
yeah,
they're splitting and
it means it was a good, healthy hive, more than
Good.
likely. Like
Good.
I say, pretty good. When I looked at it Saturday, they were doing okay. Coming and going. They were putting putting pollen in.
Yeah.
They were at nectar and honey in the top box. So
Sweet.
Say this is kind of what bees do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine it rained here earlier, so I doubt they were out for that. I'm imagining after the rain, I mean, it's probably been
that
4 or
often
5
happens.
hours.
Yeah, that often happens. Is you get a storm or something that comes through, and that kind of triggers them.
Yeah.
They've been prepping for a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been wild. Last night I did get nervous because they were on both sides of the box, all over the concrete, and I'm like,
Yep, they were practicing.
I was like, I haven't seen that yet.
Yep.
So I'm watching, and then we got home and we said I'll walk on the deck, and then I just went over.
Yeah, like I said, that sometimes they're just out there, and it's called bearding, where they're just out, because it's too hot in the hive.
Yeah.
And then other times they'll do that practice where they tell the queen, okay, we're leaving, but the queen isn't ready to go. So everybody leaves, and they get outside, and they're like, hey. Normally swarms are gentle because they don't have a home to defend, but later in the evening, like this is, all bees are a little bit ornerier, and you just never know. I mean, sometimes the more gentle hives get a little bit spicier when they swarm, and vice versa. So, a couple of my biggest sting events have been in a swarm that I thought, oh well, it's a nice little swarm, it's not a big deal, and they just tear me up. So just never ever can tell with the girls.
We're gonna find out.
So, but yeah,
Always try to respect them no matter what.
yeah. But probably gonna want to move the box like this close to under here.
Okay.
So if you can cut it, I'll try and
You want
hold
me
it.
to cut this one out of the way for us?
Maybe that's okay with you. Yeah, like I said, up in your
Well,
tree.
it's been needing to be trimmed anyway because of the mowing. So.
Yeah, I mean that just makes it a little bit easier. Anything that you can do to make it like a direct. As I say, earlier in the day, I just put a tarp down and just literally shake them on the ground. But being a little bit more in the evening, might be good to try and get the majority of them into a box.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Like that. Like I said, I don't have my. I just took a lot of my swarm stuff out of my truck.
Never fails, right?
Yep. Yeah, usually.
Leave it today.
So usually, once you get into the end of June, 1st of July, swarming's starting to slow down.
Things have been late this year, though. 1, 2, 3. Oops. I'll move this lighter as soon as you're down.
Try not to step on bees on the ground. Look out! One.
You're gonna get it, pup.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. want to go
Wow,
back.
there's a lot of bees in the air right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you would be amazed how many bees there actually is in that swarm in the air. I mean, you're looking at 20,000 bees there.
Wow, this is my first swarm, so this is like
Yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty cool when you're, if you catch them in the air, when you're actually seeing them come out of the hive or you see them flying, it's pretty amazing. The spectacle. Sometimes I'll shake them on the ground on a tarp and then set the hive on there and they'll literally march. I mean, it's like a wave marching up into the hive, all in mass. It's really cool.
Crisis averted. Got them a new home. They're piling in already. Crisis averted, everybody.